There will come a moment, and maybe that moment is now, where the ground beneath you no longer feels steady. You will feel overwhelmed, confused, maybe even broken. And in that moment, this message will find you, not by chance, but because your mind knew to seek something deeper. What if I told you that what you are feeling right now, the fear, the spiral, the panic, is not a sign that you are weak, but a sign that your brain is doing exactly what it was wired to do? Your brain is not broken. It is beautifully designed for survival. But sometimes, that survival system starts protecting you from things that are no longer dangerous, like a fire alarm going off in a quiet room, like your thoughts becoming your threats. The good news? Neuroscience has finally caught up with what ancient wisdom always knew. You do not have to be a prisoner of your emotions. You can train your mind to work with you, not against you. And you can do it through small, specific practices. No big changes, no toxic positivity, just a return to your own wiring. In the next few minutes, I am going to walk you through 8 of the most powerful techniques backed by real neuroscience. Tools that help people climb out of emotional spirals, regulate their thoughts, and build unshakable inner strength. These are not fluffy affirmations. These are survival skills for the modern mind. And the best part, you do not need to remember everything I say. Because when the moment comes, that moment when everything feels too much, this will find you. It always does. Let us begin. Chapter 1: The 90-second rule. Most people believe emotions control them, that once anger rises, sadness creeps in, or anxiety hits, it will stay until something external fixes it. But neuroscience reveals something surprising and incredibly freeing: the truth. No emotion lasts longer than 90 seconds, unless you feed it. Not 90 minutes, not 90 hours, just 1.5 minutes. That is the average lifespan of the physical emotional response in your body. Here is what actually happens. When something triggers an emotion, a comment, a memory, a moment, your brain instantly signals your body to release a chemical cocktail. Adrenaline, cortisol, neurotransmitters, all rushing in like a wave. You feel heat, tension, maybe pressure in your chest. That is the physiological response. But that wave, it passes. Your body flushes those chemicals out in about 90 seconds. The emotion itself is designed to fade naturally. So why does it feel like anger stays for hours? Or that anxiety keeps you awake all night? Because your thoughts keep looping the trigger. Your mind, not your body, reactivates the same chemical reaction over and over. Not because you are weak, but because your survival brain is trying to protect you from a perceived threat. This is not wishful thinking. It is science. Dr. Jill Bolte-Taylor, a Harvard-trained neuroscientist, discovered this rule while recovering from a stroke that disconnected her from her emotions. She realized that without mental reinforcement, feelings passed on their own. So next time you feel that surge, that moment of heat in your chest, clenching in your throat, or tears pushing behind your eyes, try this. Pause, breathe, and count to 90. Do nothing else. Just observe, like watching a wave roll in, then pull back into the ocean. You do not have to stop it. You just have to stop feeding it. Because your emotions are weather systems. They pass if you let them. Shakti, Chapter 2: Cognitive Reframing. Your thoughts are not facts. Pain does not always come from what happened. More often, it comes from what you expected to happen and what did not. Your brain is a prediction machine. It constantly generates forecasts about what should unfold next, how people should treat you, how a plan should go, how a life should look. When reality does not match the prediction, it feels like failure. But what if the problem is not your life, but your mental lens? This is where cognitive reframing becomes life-changing. Cognitive reframing is not about ignoring pain or pretending everything is fine. It is about seeing events through a more accurate lens, a lens that frees you instead of trapping you. Let us say you did not get the job, or the person you trusted let you down. Your mind might say, I must not be good enough. But that is not a fact. That is a frame, and frames can be changed. What if you looked at the exact same event and asked, what is this trying to teach me? Or, what skills or feedback could help me grow from this? Now you are not in a prison. You are in a classroom. Your emotional brain tends to catastrophize. It says, this is the end. But your rational brain, your prefrontal cortex, sees complexity. It says, this is hard, but it is not final. And that shift from this is personal to this is a process is what turns shame into strategy. So the next time something feels like a failure, ask yourself this. What is another equally true story I could tell about this moment? Because your brain might be great at creating disaster narratives, but it is even better at creating meaning when you let it. Chapter 3, The Spotlight Effect. Everyone's too busy surviving their own story. There's a strange trick your brain plays on you. It makes you feel like you're under a spotlight, like every move you make, every flaw you try to hide, every awkward sentence you blurt out is being watched, judged, remembered. Psychologists call this the spotlight effect, and it is responsible for more unnecessary shame and social anxiety than almost anything else. Here is what the research says. You vastly overestimate how much people notice you. A Cornell University study asked students to wear embarrassing t-shirts in public. The wearers assumed that half the room noticed. In reality, only 10% even remembered it. Why? Because just like you are the center of your mental universe, everyone else is the center of theirs. Most people are not watching you. They are too busy watching themselves. That mistake you made in your presentation, you probably replayed it 47 times in your head. But ask yourself this. Can you remember any mistakes someone else made in theirs? Exactly. You were thinking about your own. Your brain is wired to detect social threat. It is evolutionary. Back in the tribe days, being judged meant being cast out. So your brain learned to hypermonitor your behavior. But today, that instinct is misfiring. The truth? Most people are not judging you. They are wondering if you are judging them. So the next time you feel self-conscious, try this. Imagine that everyone else feels just as awkward. Because they do. They are just better at hiding it. The spotlight is not real. It is just a nervous brain, trying to protect you from a danger that no longer exists. Shipuri Chapter 4, The Emotional First Aid Kit. Build it before you break. When you cut your hand, you do not wait until it is infected to find a bandage. You reach for a first aid kit. But what about when your heart gets bruised? Or your mind starts spiraling? Most of us were never taught how to handle emotional injuries. We prepare for physical pain, but not psychological distress. And so we find ourselves in crisis with no tools to reach for. That is why you need an emotional first aid kit. This is not metaphorical. It is practical. You build it before the breakdown. When you are clear-headed, calm, and stable, you gather resources that will support you the next time your world shakes. Here is how to build yours. Identify your emotional triggers. What hits you hardest? Rejection, uncertainty, failure. Make a list. Awareness is your first tool. Choose multisensory interventions. Pick something you can see, a photo, quote, or grounding visual. Hear, a calming playlist, a voice memo from someone who believes in you. Touch, a comforting texture like a stone or fabric. Do, an action like jumping jacks, journaling, or a walk. Add a social lifeline. Write down 2 people you can call or message. And give yourself permission to reach out without guilt. Store it where you'll use it. A notes app, a folder, a drawer. Make it accessible. Make it yours. Because when the emotional storm hits, you do not rise to the level of your motivation. You fall to the level of your preparation. So prepare with love for the future version of you who will need it. Chapter 5: Breaking Rumination. Your brain is looping, not solving. You know that feeling when your brain grabs a moment from the past, a regret, an awkward conversation, or a missed opportunity, and replays it on loop like a broken record? That is rumination. And no, it is not helping you. It is hijacking your peace. Rumination feels like problem solving, but it is not. It is a cycle, going in circles without resolution. You are not finding answers. You are just reinforcing neural pathways of pain. Here is the science. Every time you replay a negative thought, your brain strengthens the wiring associated with it, like rehearsing misery. What you focus on, your brain believes is important. It does not know whether you are remembering or reliving. To your nervous system, it is happening again. The worst part? Trying to stop thinking about it only makes it worse. It is like saying, do not think about a pink elephant. Guess what you just saw? So what can you do? Try the 5-3-1. Pattern interrupt. A neuroscience-backed way to break the loop. 5. Name 5 things you can see right now. Lamp, book, tree, hands, sky. This activates your visual cortex. 3. Move your body for 3 minutes. Stretch, walk, shake it out. Movement resets the mind. 1. Take one small action. Message someone, make a cup of tea, write down a thought. Any forward motion. You are not trying to erase the thought. You are redirecting your attention, giving your mind somewhere new to flow, because your brain is like water. If you do not give it a path, it will find one, often right back into the past. Chapter 6: Third-person self-talk. Speak to yourself like someone you love. What do you say to yourself when life hits hard? For most people, the inner voice turns cruel, faster than any enemy ever could. I always mess things up. I am a failure. I cannot handle this. Now imagine if a friend said those things to you. You would probably walk away, fast. But when your own voice says it, it sinks deeper. Why? Because your brain listens to the tone you use with yourself. It does not just hear what you say, it hears how you say it. Here is a simple technique that can radically shift your emotional state. Third-person self-talk. Instead of saying, I cannot do this, say, your name can handle this. Instead of, I am scared, say, you are scared right now, and that is okay. Research from Michigan State University found that using your own name, or referring to yourself as you, creates psychological distance from emotional overwhelm. It allows your brain to shift from survival mode into advisor mode, activating the same parts of your brain you use when comforting someone else. In other words, you start treating yourself like a friend, and that changes everything. When you say, you have been through worse, you can do this, your brain hears not just reassurance, it hears authority. Compassion backed by credibility. Try it right now. Say your name and follow it with a message you need to hear today. It might sound strange at first, but it might also be the kindest thing you have said to yourself in years. Paratish Chapter 7: The Stockdale Paradox, Hope Without Delusion. In the darkest places of human experience, some people break, and some rise. What separates them is not strength. It is not luck. It is this paradox. You must never lose faith that you will prevail in the end. But at the same time, you must confront the brutal facts of your current reality. That quote comes from Admiral James Stockdale, who survived over 7 years as a prisoner of war in Vietnam, tortured, isolated, uncertain if he would ever make it out alive. When asked how he endured, he described this powerful tension. He did not sugarcoat the suffering. He did not tell himself lies, but he never gave up on the belief that eventually he would survive it. This mindset is now known as the Stockdale Paradox, and here is why it matters for you. When you're going through something painful, grief, illness, heartbreak, failure, your mind often swings between two extremes, toxic optimism, it will all be fine tomorrow, hopeless despair, this will never end. But reality lives in the middle. This is hard, and I will find my way through it, no matter how long it takes. This mindset is sustainable. It does not collapse when things do not improve right away. It bends, but it does not break. So the next time life gets heavy, try saying, "This is hard. I do not know how long it will last, but I am staying in it until it shifts." Because real resilience is not built in easy seasons. It is built by walking forward, even when the path disappears under your feet. Chapter 8. Your Resilience Operating System. Don't rely on willpower. When everything falls apart, you will not rise to the level of your goals. You will fall to the level of your systems. Most people try to survive on motivation, but motivation is unreliable. It vanishes when you need it most. What does work is building a resilience operating system, a set of internal tools and habits you can rely on when your mind is tired, your body is stressed, and your emotions feel unmanageable. And here's the key. You do not build your system during a breakdown. You build it in the quiet moments so that it shows up when the storm comes. Here is how to build yours using what you have learned today. Brain 1. Physiological reset. Use the 90-second rule. Breathe. Feel the emotion pass like a wave. 2. Cognitive clarity. Reframe your thoughts. Ask, what is another equally true story I can tell? 3. Compassionate self-talk. Use third-person language. Your name, you have survived before. You will again. 4. Behavioral anchor. Use the 5-3-1 technique to interrupt rumination. Movement, presence, action. 5. Connection, ritual. Keep a list of people you can text or call, and remind yourself that asking for help is strength. Now put these in a simple note on your phone, or write them on a card you keep nearby. Title it, "When It Feels Like Too Much, Start Here." Because the truth is, you will forget all of this when the panic sets in. But systems do not forget. They catch you. Let this find you again. You may not remember every technique you heard today. You might even close this video and feel the chaos creep back in. That is okay, because this was never about memorizing a checklist. It was about planting something deeper. A quiet understanding that when life shakes you, you are not helpless. You are not broken. You are not alone. Your brain is beautifully complex, designed to protect you, even when it confuses survival with fear. And now you have tools, real tools, rooted in neuroscience, shaped by human resilience, and built for the hardest days. So when that next moment comes, the one where the room feels smaller, your breath feels tight, and everything in your body tells you to give up, let this message rise up from within you. Count to 90. Reframe the story. Speak to yourself like someone worth saving. Interrupt the loop. Hold the paradox. Trust the system. And remember, this message will always find you. Maybe not on a schedule. Maybe not when things are going well. But in the silence, in the stillness, in the 3 a.m. spiral, it will rise. Because it is already in you. Now choose one thing from today. Just one. Practice it for 7 days. Not perfectly, just with care. And then layer another. Let your healing be a system, not a sprint. And hey, if this spoke to you, subscribe. Share it with someone who needs it. And if you want early access to future tools, bonus chapters, or just a quiet place to be understood, check out the Patreon in the description. You do not have to navigate this alone. You never did.